Hello class 7 students. Welcome back to the Science Digital class, and today we are going to start chapter 8 of your science textbook, which is Soil. Chapter at a glance. Soil, composition of soil and crops, soil formation, types of soil erosion, soil profile, properties of soil conservation. Engage. Find the words related to soil in the given grid. तो इस ग्रिड में सॉइल से रिलेटेड सारे वर्ड्स हमें फाइंड करने हैं और ये सारे वर्ड्स यहाँ पर लिस्टेड है. डू यू नो द मीनिंग्स ऑफ द डिफरेंट वर्ड्स? डिस्कस देम इन क्लास. Soil. The loose mixture of organic and inorganic materials that forms the uppermost layer of the Earth's crust is called soil. It is usually composed of a thin layer of mineral particles and a layer of dead and decayed plant and animal remains called humus. During rain, water enters the cracks and cavities of the rocks. During winter, when the temperature falls, water freezes to ice and expands. This expansion exerts an outward force and the rock breaks into small pieces. These smaller particles further break down to form soil. Soil provides a foundation for a vast number of plants and serves as storehouse of water and minerals needed for their growth. Soil also provides shelter to many animals that live on or in it. Without soil, there would be no grass, no crop, no tree and no food for us or for our growth. तो जो सॉइल है वो हम सभी के लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट रोल प्ले करती है, क्योंकि वो सभी प्लांट्स के लिए भी जरूरी है और प्लांट्स के ऊपर हम सभी एनिमल्स एंड लिविंग बीइंग्स डिपेंडेंट होते हैं. सॉइल अपने अंदर वाटर भी कैरी करती है और सॉइल रॉक से बनती है. जब रॉक का फॉर्मेशन, जब रॉक धीरे धीरे छोटे छोटे पार्टिकल्स में ब्रेक होता है और उसी से सॉइल बनती है. सॉइल के अंदर ढेर सारे मिनरल कंटेंट भी होते हैं. Knowledge basket. A scientist who studies soil is known as pedologist. Soil formation. Soil का formation कैसे होता है? Let's see. Soil formation is a slow stepwise process and it takes thousands of years to form a layer of soil just a few centimeters thick. It is the result of continuous breaking down of rocks by a process called weathering. Factors that cause weathering. तो कोई भी रॉक धीरे धीरे करके जब टूटता है उसे वीदरिंग कहते हैं. और वीदरिंग कैसे होती है, कौन से फैक्टर्स वीदरिंग पे वर्क करते हैं? लेट्स सी. द एजेंट्स एंड फैक्टर्स दैट कॉज वीदरिंग ऑफ रॉक इंक्लूड विंड, वाटर, टेम्परेचर चेंजेस एंड लिविंग थिंग्स. तो वाटर कैसे सॉइल बनाने में हेल्प करता है? लेट्स सी. व्हेन वाटर मूव्स अराउंड माउंटेन स्लोप्स इट कैरीज लूज रॉक्स विद इट. द मूविंग रॉक हिट अदर रॉक ऑन द वे. The fine particles that chip from the rock get deposited in the riverbeds as soil. Wind. When wind blows at high speed in the mountains, loose rocks slide down the slopes. They hit against one another and break into small pieces. The wind carries these fine particles and deposits them elsewhere as soil. Temperature. Large variation in the day and night temperature also leads to weathering of rocks. Rocks expand during the day and contract during night. This process of alternate expansion and contraction causes the breakdown of the rock. The smaller rock pieces finally change into soil. Living things. Roots of plants can help break rocks. Sometimes soil gets trapped in the cracks of rocks when a seed falls into the soil. It sometimes germinates. The roots of the growing plant can break the rock into smaller pieces. Burrowing animals also break as they dig. Soil profile. A vertical section that shows the distinct layers of soil or horizons when we cut straight down into the soil is known as a soil profile. The layers of soil seen in the soil profile are called horizons. Each layer of the soil differs in texture, color, depth and chemical composition. तो soil अलग-अलग parts में अलग-अलग layer में divide होती है, जिसको होराइजन कहते हैं. हर होराइजन का अपना एक कैरेक्टरिस्टिक टेक्सचर कलर होता है. तो लेट्स सी द फर्स्ट होराइजन, द अपर मोस्ट लेयर विच इज ऑल्सो नोन एज टॉप सॉइल. अपर मोस्ट लेयर को टॉप सॉइल कहते हैं, ए होराइजन भी कहते हैं. ए होराइजन और टॉप सॉइल. द अपर मोस्ट लेयर ऑफ द सॉइल इज कॉल्ड होराइजन ए. It is also called the topsoil because it forms the topmost layer of the soil. It is usually the darkest layer of the soil. It contains a lot of materials, for example, decayed matter of plants and animals, which were decomposed by the soil microbes. This decayed material is called humus. It is because of this humus that this layer is dark brown in color. This layer is soft, porous, and can hold more water. It is the home of many living organisms such as worms, insects, bacteria, and fungi. B horizon or subsoil. The layer just under the top layer, A horizon, is called B horizon. This is also known as subsoil. This layer is rich in soluble minerals and iron oxides and is light in color but has little or no humus. C horizon or parent rock. This is the parent rock layer and is located below the subsoil. This layer is made up of small pieces of rocks with cracks and surfaces. Plant roots are not found in this layer. The rainwater gets collected in this layer as groundwater. This layer lacks humus and is infertile. R horizon or bedrock. Below C horizon lies the layer of large solid rocks called the bedrock. It is non-porous layer and the rainwater collects over it to form the water table. Composition of soil. Soil के अंदर क्या क्या होता है? Let's see. The composition of soil is different in different types of soil. It depends upon the type of rock from which it is formed. Basically, all soils contain the following components. Parent material. Soil contains minerals which were earlier present in the parent rocks. These minerals include salts of iron, potassium, phosphorus, magnesium, and calcium. Plants absorb many of these minerals for their growth. Humus. The organic matter comprises of dead and decaying living matters such as plants and animals, also called humus. Humus is dark, black, and sticky and is found mostly in the topsoil. Humus makes the soil fertile and improve its microbes and improve its water holding capacity. It helps in the growth of microbes in the soil. It acts as manure for the plants and supplies nitrogen to them. Water. Plants obtain water from the soil. Rainwater sinks down into the soil, reaches the non-porous rocky layer and collects there. This natural store of groundwater is called the water table. Air. Air is also present in the soil in the spaces between the soil particles. Air is needed for the plant roots to respire, for soil organisms to live, and for the dead and decaying materials to be converted to humus. Soil organisms. Soil provides home to many different organisms and they play a very important role in changing the quality of the soil. Some of them are harmful while others play a vital role in maintaining the fertility of the soil. This is the picture of earthworm in the soil. We see earthworms coming out of the soil during the rainy season. They are known as farmers' friends. They burrow into the soil, swallow it and make it loose. Soil texture is improved in this manner. Now, types of soil देखते हैं. कितने types के soil होती है? Based on the proportion of sand, silt, clay and humus present in it. Number 1, sandy soil. The soil with about 60% of sand particles in it is called sandy soil. It has some silt and clay also. It holds a lot of air in between its particles. The size of its particle is 0.2 to 2.0 mm. It is not suitable for the growth of plants. Some plants grow only in sandy soil, example cactus, opuntia, date palm, etc. It is made up of large particles with large air spaces and can hold only a little water. Number 2, clay soil. More than 2/3 of clay soil is clay. This soil can hold a lot of water. This soil retains moisture and becomes very sticky when wet. The soil particles are less than 0.2 mm in size. There is no air spaces between them. It is rich in minerals. It is not good for plants, but we grow paddy in clay soil which needs much water. Number 3, loamy soil. The soil with a mixture of humus, sand and clay is called loam or loamy soil. It has good air and water holding capacity. It is fit for cultivation. Thus, it is the best soil for growing fruits, vegetables and crops. It has high humus content. It is porous and also holds moisture. Properties of soil. Soil की क्या-क्या properties होती हैं? The soil has many properties which make each type of soil unique. The properties of soil vary from place to place. Let us discuss the properties in detail. Number 1, percolation rate of water. मतलब water soil के अंदर कितना percolate हो सकता है उसके ऊपर. Percolation is the gradual movement of water through the spaces or pores in the soil. Soil with moderate percolation rate is best suitable for the growth of plants. The soil having a low percolation rate will block air pores of the soil and proper aeration will not occur, which is required by the roots of the plant. If water drains too fast, it will be difficult for the plants to absorb it unless they have deep roots reaching the water table. Number 2, moisture. किस soil के अंदर कितना moisture होता है? Soil contains water in the form of moisture. Moisture content of a soil depends upon its type and sources. Soil has space or pores. When 1/3 of the pores or spaces are filled by air and 2/3 of it by water, this ratio constitutes the most favorable condition for the growth of plants. The moisture present in 100 grams of soil is called moisture content or percentage of moisture in soil. Number 3, absorption of water. The amount of water a particular type of soil can absorb is called its water absorption capacity. If the soil can hold water, the plants will grow well. If the soil does not hold water, the plants would need frequent watering or they would die. Soil and crops. क्रॉप्स और सॉइल का बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट कनेक्शन होता है क्योंकि सारी क्रॉप्स सॉइल पर ही लगती हैं. So let's talk about soil and crops. Crops are a source of food, clothes, cotton, medicine, spices, etc. The type of soil and climatic factors determine the type of crops which can be grown in a particular area. In our country, mainly 3 types of soils are found: sandy soil, clay soil and loamy soil. The topsoil of a place can be made up of only one or more than one type of soil particles. Here are examples of certain crops which are grown in particular type of soil. Number 1, cereals like wheat and gram are grown in clay and loamy soil because these soils have better water retaining capacity. Number 2, soils rich in clay and organic matter with good water retaining capacity are ideal for cultivation of paddy crop. Number 3, loamy soils which drain water easily are suitable for lentils and other pulses. Number 4, for growing cotton, sandy loamy soil is more suitable because of its water draining and air holding capacity. Number 5, clay soils are fertile and rich in humus. These soils are very good for cultivating. Soil erosion. जब भी soil का erosion होता है, soil erode होती है through various factors like wind and water, उसको soil erosion कहते हैं. Soil erosion में जो सॉइल की टॉप मोस्ट लेयर होती है, जो सबसे सॉफ्ट होती है, लाइट होती है, वो हट जाती है ऊपर से और उसी को इरोजन कहते हैं. सॉइल इरोजन. The topsoil is soft and light. It can be carried away easily by wind and washed away by flowing water. This process of carrying away of topsoil by natural forces like water and wind is called soil erosion. Soil erosion के क्या-क्या कारण होते हैं? Causes of soil erosion. The main causes of soil erosion are large-scale cutting of trees, deforestation, overgrazing in forest, clearing the forest to make land available for farming or for constructing buildings, heavy rains, deep plowing and forest fires also lead to soil erosion. Effects of soil erosion. Soil erosion से क्या-क्या effect हो सकते हैं? Loss of fertile soil, that is the soil loses its fertility. Poor crop production causes famines. Poor vegetation leads to poor population of living organisms in the soil. Formation of barren lands, deserts, etc. Soil conservation. Soil को conserve करना क्यों जरूरी है? Soil को बचाना. The process by which soil erosion is checked is called soil conservation. Soil conservation can be done in the following ways. Afforestation. पेड़ लगाकर. Planting of trees can prevent erosion. Trees serve as windbreakers and as plant covers. They slow down the erosion of soil. Farmers should plant trees between their fields and on area where there is no cultivation. Terrace farming. It is done by building steps or flat rows called terraces on hillsides to prevent the topsoil from being washed off. Building of dams. Dams control floods and stop the flow of water, thus prevent soil erosion. Checking. Overgrazing. Overgrazing by animals result in the removal of green cover on the land. Bare soil suffers erosion severely. So by preventing overgrazing, the green cover on the land is protected. Construction of embankments. Embankments are constructed to prevent the flow of water around hill slopes. Moral learnt. Soil is the backbone of our food security. Without healthy soil, farmers won't be able to provide us with feed, fiber, food and fuel. Just like how a foundation of a home is critical, healthy soil acts as a foundation for plants by supporting plant roots and keeping plants upright for growth. So, we should be thankful and grateful to it and conserve it for our future generations. Recapitulation. Soil is the uppermost layer of the Earth's crust and is usually composed of a thin layer of mineral particles and a layer of dead and decayed plant and animal remains called humus. Soil contains mainly three types of particles: gravel, sand, and clay. These particles determine the texture as well as type of the soil. Soil contains mineral particles, humus, air, water, and living organisms. Humus is formed from the decayed remains of dead organisms. The breaking up of rocks into smaller pieces over thousands of years is called weathering. The agents and factors that cause weathering of rocks include wind, water, temperature changes, and living things. A vertical section that shows the distinct layer of soil or horizons when we cut straight down into the soil is known as soil profile. The uppermost layer of the soil is called horizon A. It is also called the topsoil. The B horizon is also known as subsoil. C horizon is made up of stones and rocks. Based on the proportion of sand, silt, clay and humus present in it, soil can be number 1 sandy, number 2 clayey, number 3 loamy. Clay soils is rich in minerals. It is not good for plants. Thank you class. Let's meet again in the next chapter.